Hey Nadia,
Hello.
I'm all bundled up in a sweater and you're in a tank top, which doesn't make sense because I'm in California and you're in Boston. Is it warm today in Boston?
No. I'm just warm in my room because my heater's on. But no, it is probably the way like 30 degrees colder than California right now, maybe more.
Oh, well, that kind of makes sense because we always talk about how in the East Coast everything's so warm inside, and in the West Coast it seems like the heater can be on, but it's still so cold in our homes.
Yeah, I don't know. Our heater wasn't working when it was like super, super cold, so now we're just like it's just always on just in case.
Okay, well, I wanted to talk a little bit today about social media.
Mhm.
It's a hot topic in my mind right now because I am trying to transition away from using Instagram and Facebook.
Mhm.
And then did you hear about the news regarding TikTok?
Yeah. Obviously, I have.
I literally just heard about it yesterday or 2 days ago.
Mhm.
I mean, I heard about the news before, but I didn't realize like supposedly TikTok can go away like in 2 days.
Yeah.
Are you feeling panicky that your
Um,
friend, the TikTok, might go away?
I would obviously I'm not panicking. I have a life outside of TikTok, but I'm like, I think it's just kind of annoying. I I don't really see what the benefit of this is for anybody. Like I don't understand why we can have certain social media apps but not TikTok. I mean, granted, I haven't really looked into why they want to get rid of it like that much. I just think, I don't know, just kind of silly. I feel like
My
there's more
impression
like there's more important things to decide on than like the future of TikTok. I just don't understand, but it's fine.
Well, I do think that the way social media is a huge part of our lives because it's on our phone and it's everywhere we go,
Mhm.
that it really can affect the way that we think about the world around us and what is actually happening in our communities and in communities like elsewhere, so like it
Right.
shapes how we think the world is going. And I think, and I this is literally me just making an assumption and based on the conversation I had 2 days ago with my friend about TikTok, that it's supposed to be about like there's like other country propaganda being pushed through TikTok and it's detrimental to.
Like if you think about it like that, then you're getting rid of TikTok just for censorship purposes, and then I really don't understand. Like I just like it doesn't make sense. We can have Instagram. Like at that point, just get rid of all social media, which we know is not going to happen. Half of TikTok has moved on to this Chinese version of TikTok.
Have you
They have
downloaded it?
reels on no, I haven't. And they have reels on Instagram. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know. It just feels really silly to me. And if the rest of the world has this and we don't, like, then in that way,
That's
you're
that's
disconnecting
rough.
us from like the outside world and we're only in our own little bubble. And that's another form of censorship. And like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I don't understand it at all.
Well, which goes back to why I'm trying to get off of Instagram and Facebook. I
Hmm.
feel like maybe I'm questioning some of the things that I'm seeing, or questioning my own ability to know what is actually fact versus not. Like because of
Yeah.
I mean, there's two things. One, because of the fires in California,
Hmm.
in Southern California, there was twice that I just believed something that I saw
Hmm.
on social media was happening in Los Angeles. And then fortunately, one of them, I was like, wow, that's so crazy. The Hollywood sign burning. Let me just double
Yeah.
check if that's real. So then I looked on, the internet and I was like, oh, okay, that's so not real. But totally, if I just didn't do anything, I could have just believed that because why wouldn't
Yeah.
it be on fire? And then the other thing was that like the whole news about whatever, one family owning 80+% of California's water and taking it away
Hmm.
from California. that was like confirmation bias type thing for me. Like I was like, oh, I could totally see that one family owning all the water in California.
Right.
And then it turns out that's like, it was just like the truth was misrepresented, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
And so
It
I was thinking that a I remember you don't really remember, but I totally remember a time where I didn't have to scroll to get my news and find out how I feel about what's going on in the world. I was just here. And so maybe I can go back to
I
that.
mean, yeah, but like why I don't know if if everyone else is moving forward in a certain direction, like why would we just take a step back and disconnect ourselves from that? I feel like that might just be even more detrimental. Like maybe helps with like your own personal mental health and like well-being, but then you're just not informed or you seems like you don't care as much because it doesn't affect you, so you could just, like, remove yourself from all of it. I don't know. I just kinda
Well,
wonder. I don't know why.
maybe I grab my news from the news.
I mean, yeah, I feel like if you can get your news, like, in other I don't know. Like, why
There's
I don't
one there's one level. I mean, we can also say that the news, like some journalists, have their own agenda. Every journalist
Right.
has their own perspective. You have to take everything that's being said with a grain of salt because it's always from somebody's perspective. But
Mhm.
there's an extra level of filter to get somebody to go on to the news that you might not get like on social media, right? Like everybody makes the news on social media, but to work for
Yeah.
like, I don't know, the New York Times or something like that, you actually have to get hired and then write the
I
news.
mean, yeah, but they, like, still say random stuff too, like, in the same way that has no basis or you just are like, "That's not true."
Anyway, so I'm looking for ways to get off of social media. And so far, I have decided to put my news widget back on my phone, which I took off after the election.
Mhm.
And I am trying to look for resources to print out all my pictures and my captions on Instagram and on Facebook so that I
To
can
print
keep
it out?
those. Yeah.
Like, none then you're like, that's so much extra work for you.
Yeah.
At that point, just, like, have someone else do your Instagram and then
Well,
just don't look at it.
I'll probably have to keep my Instagram for work, right? I have to keep my Instagram
Right,
for
but
work. But my personal, I could just end it and continue taking pictures on my phone and then printing photo books on my phone from my phone.
yeah. I'm yeah, I guess so.
Mm, and I think the unfortunate thing that I can't quite figure out is that a lot of my cousins or people that I meet from around the world, Facebook is a common way to remember them and interact with them. So I'm gonna have to keep like Facebook Messenger or something like that because I don't know how else I can maintain
Yeah,
contact.
I feel like I don't know. There's just I think I told you, like, to just like, to put, like, screen time limits on your stuff. I don't know. I feel like in that way, there's no other alternative. People aren't like looking to find another way to communicate with people without social media. It's like, I don't know, we're only going to be moving like farther and farther in that direction instead of moving back. It's hard to change like billions of people's preference, like messaging preferences.
I
But I
mean,
don't know. I
that's
think this argument of like social media, like getting rid of all social media, is only things I've heard from people like of your generation. And probably because you guys remember a time when you didn't have to do that. Whereas like people my age and also that I know and that are on like I guess influencers on social media don't talk about that at all because like we Not that we can't remember a time. I know some people can't, but not that I feel like I can kind of remember. I just, like, I don't know. We don't wanna go back. Like, I don't know. We just, like, our whole lives have now been built with it, and it doesn't really seem like something that's we we can remove the negative parts of it and just keep what we like.
I mean, I know how I would build it if the way that I would like it. I would like my photo feed to be only people that I know, and I don't want to be fed or suggested any other things. I know I can turn that off, like, for you, so you can turn it off, like, every 30 days or whatever, so I turn it off. And that's, like, a major thing. I don't wanna, like, see a bunch of people that I don't know and their news, and then how do I prevent other people from sending me stuff that they have followed that may or may not be real? I don't know, but
You
at
can
least it's
turn off
then
messaging.
you can turn off messaging?
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you
I
be
mean,
able
it's
to?
one way though to keep in touch. Like, as long as I can keep a very small circle of people and all I see is their pictures. I do remember when Instagram was like that, when it was like chronological and you can
Yeah.
just see the pictures in chronological order and you didn't get fed other feeds.
Get fed other
Um,
feeds, but, like, you don't have to look at them.
mhm. I know. I know. I don't have to look at them, but I don't even want to like have to decide. Basically, I'm just saying that's how. I'm not saying that's the right solution for
Mm,
everybody. That's how I would want it.
mm, yes, yeah. I don't look at social media as my news outlet, but I don't like reading the news anyways, so to not
It
use
dawned
it
on
for
me
that
that
purpose.
the irony of me wanting to get off of Instagram and Facebook is that the reason why I want to get off, like one thing that like instigated it was the decision announced by Zuckerberg to take off fact checkers. And
Mhm.
I found that out on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's like the irony of it is that I found out
Yeah,
the news about why I don't want to watch, like, be on Instagram.
right. I don't know. Yeah. I just feel like I personally would lose a lot of my connection to any outside n things that happen outside of, like, my own life. I would lose
Mhm.
all of that. And, like, I don't know. I'm I'm biased, but
I mean, you know your experience. That's the experience you know. I remember not knowing everything that was going on with somebody that I went to kindergarten with. Like if I if Instagram was around when I was like 6, I might be in contact with Girish and Shazad. No, Girish and Shazad. I think that's what their names were. I don't know why I remember their names, but there were these
Mhm.
two boys that I carpool with to Milpitas Montessori. Girish and Shazad, if you're out there, find me. But yeah, if it was around back then, I'd probably still be in touch with them, and maybe that would be a good thing. But it's also okay that I don't know what's
Yeah.
happening with Girish right now.
I mean, it's not like I'm messaging every single person I've ever spoken to in my whole life. But I mean in the sense of, like, just TikTok. I like just not even people I know. My For You page just made it for me. I don't really see the news unless it's, like, major events on my TikTok. It's more, like, random stuff that I like scrolling on, but I don't know. Everything just seems so silly. I'm being really pessimistic. It just seems just stupid, and
I
that
mean, I
there's
get your
other
point
things
of
to
view.
care about, and don't understand why this is everyone's top priority. Not the getting rid of
Well,
social media, but get like a TikTok ban type thing.
I mean, we can all agree that polluting the environment is not a good thing. And I do
Right.
remember a time in the 80s when pollution wasn't such a big hot topic and people would easily do things just like throw things not in the garbage, just drop them on the
Mhm.
floor. Like you just didn't like really think about it as much. I mean, of course, people, it's kind of rude to throw it on the floor, but it also just
Mhm.
was along with like not wearing seatbelts and being able to smoke inside the movie theater, people also
Mhm.
just threw garbage on the floor sometimes. And
Yeah.
so now we all know that that's not a good idea. And we've moved on. Um, but speaking of cigarettes, like I think that people probably thought, "Whoa, crazy! No cigarettes in the bars? That's so crazy. That's where you smoke." But
Mhm.
we were able to do it, and it seems totally fine to not have cigarettes in the bars anymore. Anyway, um,
Yeah.
maybe we can think about the social media as like polluting our brain, and this is a way to stop the pollution.
Yeah. Just like people are gonna find loopholes. It's never like
Yeah.
in our like in this day and time, like people are just gonna find loopholes.
Yeah, especially
You
when
can't
your
you can't
generation is the one that's coming up and being
right, you
able to
can't
make new
smoke
software.
you can't smoke in bars, but you can vape in bars. So
Mhm.
like then there you go, that's a loophole. Like I don't know. If people are just I don't know. I guess the only solution is to get rid of everything and start over. Is what we're
Okay.
saying.
Well, one thing else that I'm feeling is total, like a relative lack of control of anything that's going on around me. So,
Yeah.
I guess, we don't really have control over this situation. It's just, and we have to like just accept whatever is happening.
Yeah.
And so I guess we'll
Oh,
find out in a couple days after the fateful Monday that's coming up, and where lots of things will happen.
just yeah. It's just feel very detached from anything political because I just I don't want to believe that it's true. Which
Actually, come to think about it,
anyway.
this podcast is going to post after um, the 20th, after January 20th. So it'll be a
After
couple
the
weeks.
change of power, I don't know how to think about it
I can't even
really.
like say it. I can't even say it out loud. But
Honestly,
anyway,
like I've been through the 5 stages of grief already, so it just feels like I'm blindly accepting it because I have no other option.
yeah, yep, me too. But I do have I want to end on this, and maybe we can talk a little bit more about it next time, which is we
Hmm.
had an event at the clinic called or like our free happy hour event, and it was called
Hmm.
Sankalp, which is like a Sanskrit word which means san and kalp mean two different things, and I can't remember the exact literal translation, but basically as a group we were thinking about and embodying our intentions for 2025.
Hmm.
And my thoughts were like the like kind of like sentence that I wanted to focus on was to like just be open to the journey, just like
Hmm.
be open to the journey, like, and see what happens. So
Yeah.
I guess that's what we'll be doing.
Yeah. I like that.
All right, nice talking to you, Nadia. Have fun this weekend.
Thanks. Nice talking to you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.